One of the most well-known UFO accounts is the Valensole Incident, experienced by Maurice Masse, a farmer in the French hamlet of Valensole. He was smoking a cigarette shortly before starting work at 5:45 a.m. on July 1st, in 1965. His honesty and moral integrity were proven by investigations by government and private organizations. The unexpected event's existence was confirmed by a laboratory analysis of the damaged soil and plants. Masse then revealed that he had engaged in some form of communication with the beings during the encounter. The strange event started with that Masse noticed a weird sound coming from the direction of the field as he slowly made his way towards the barn to start his workday. An item descended from the sky and landed 200 feet away in a field of lavender. He believed a military helicopter was landing on his field once again, because in the summer, pilots frequently harmed the neighborhood shrubs while completing different training exercises. Maurice headed out into the fields with a determination to take strong action against the people destroying his lavender. He will never forget what was presented to his eyes. He walked toward them, furious and presuming a chopper had made an unlawful landing. He quickly realized that it was an oval-shaped object standing on legs rather than a helicopter. A bizarre egg-shaped object. The strange-looking craft was 60 meters away from the farmer and stood on 6 short legs. The Frenchman saw what appeared to be 2 toddlers. They were wearing bulky blue and green jumpsuits. They were roughly 1.2 meters tall. These figures weren't naughty kids. In fact, Maurice discovered as he got closer to the ship that they weren't even human. The creatures had long, enlarged eyes that extended to their temples, pointed chins, and bald, huge heads of a light tint. They were wearing bulky blue and green jumpsuits. Most remarkably, they were also ignorant of Maurice, and they were muttering. One of the beings shivered when it saw him and jerked abruptly to face the ship. A meter distant, the second humanoid extended a long thin hand that tightly gripped an odd tube of sorts, a weapon resembling a pencil. The alien aimed it towards the farmer and backed away gradually. Masse was rendered motionless, stopping him in his tracks, as if a luminous glob had erupted in front of his eyes. The beings exchanged loud, guttural tones with one another, while they continued to look at their victim for approximately a minute. During the paralysis, Maurice Masse's dread and fear that had first grabbed him vanished. The Frenchman observed that he could essentially only sense numbness, but he could feel a great sense of peace emanating from the creatures. They reappeared in the transparent cockpit after dissipating through the ship's open door. Inside, they appeared to be positioned behind some sort of control panel. The doors closed and the legs retracted. The vehicle chugged up a meter and drifted gently in the direction of the hill, before accelerating quickly and vanishing into the Provençal summer sky. It took 20 minutes to regain his mobility after the beings had fled back into the UFO. The craft left behind a large crater and a wet patch that quickly became concrete-like inconsistency. Analysis revealed a larger concentration of calcium at the landing location than elsewhere, and the nearby plants and lavender suddenly started to wither and decompose. It would take another 10 years before the lavender could grow at the landing site again. When he regained his movement, the first thing on his mind was to thoroughly study the UFO's landing marks. The ship's legs' imprints were still clearly visible, a sizable, black, round footprint. After ensuring the accuracy of the prints, Masse hurried to the city to tell his buddy what had transpired. Reporters and government officials were immediately aware of the tale and frequently visited the property. There were repercussions of the incident. For days after the encounter, he started to develop nightmares and frequently started sleeping for 12 hours. Maurice started to feel extremely drowsy, to the extent that he developed lethargy and a lack of interest in life. Before this incident, he only needed about 4 to 6 hours of sleep to feel rested. The most intriguing information, however, was revealed by his wife to French UFO researchers. It turned out that when he was immobile in front of the beings, he later admitted to her that the creatures had given him some crucial information. Masse made a commitment to keep this information a secret at all times. And thus it came to pass that on May 14, 2004, Maurice Masse passed away and carried his secret with him. All of the officials who came to investigate the case concluded that Maurice was indeed telling the truth.